A regrets video. This actually reminds me of, what's that movie where the guy's got tattooed "No regrets" across his chest? Who's in it? Jennifer Aniston. Is it We Are the Millers, or am I thinking of something else? Anyway, as you can tell, these videos are all off the cuff. I just talk conversationally to you guys and girls that want to listen. And today's video, with that little side note, little side thought just popping into my head, today's video is about some regrets. Some regrets that I've had when it comes to Pokemon card investing. Now, if you've watched this channel for a little while, one thing you'll know, I guess it's almost a mantra of mine, is I suppose I like to think of Pokemon card investing as a fun investment. It's tangible, you can look at it, you can set up a display. Like, that's so much more fun than just clicking a button and buying some shares. So I really advocate how much of a fun investment it is. Not only is it fun because you can set up displays, it's also attached to, some level of nostalgia that you can't put a price on. Like, we probably all at some stage played the Pokemon game, watched the anime, opened the cards as kids, and there's some attachment to it there for pretty much anyone that's in the Pokemon card world. But I never advocate going all in. And look, based on the numbers we've seen over the last months, that's probably where my regrets lie. So I'm going to talk to you about that regret. I'm going to talk to you about some data and some numbers that we've seen over the last 12 months. And we're going to see if maybe these things can continue. These numbers and the trends that we're seeing can continue. So over the last 12 months, and look, I don't think it's a good idea to delve into people's personal finances. And to be honest, no one probably cares about my personal finances. But, I guess for me, most of my money is parked into property. And really over the last 12 months, it's seen next to no growth whatsoever. However, Pokemon cards, particularly sealed booster boxes and sealed elite trainer boxes and Pokemon Center elite trainer boxes and ultra premium collections, have seen outlandish amounts of growth. So I guess a regret of mine is not putting maybe a higher percentage of what I invest in into Pokemon cards. You can follow me on the Collector app, and there'll be a link in the description for the app. It's a really, really good app to use. You can follow my journey, how much money I have in sealed Pokemon card products. I don't have any singles on there. I do have a somewhat decent singles collection, but it's just my sealed collection on the Collector app if you want to have a look. So there's nothing to hide there. That's what I've got in Pokemon cards. It is what it is. I love it. I enjoy it. I think about it a lot, and it's heaps of fun. I love this investing side. It's the most fun investment that I have, and I urge anyone to give it a go, as you could probably imagine from the YouTube channel. But on that, I guess I regret not putting a little bit more money into it, because the returns that we've seen over the last 12 months has been astronomical. And there's been plays that I've suggested to you guys and girls that have been watching that I dipped my toes in the water, but I wish I'd gone in further. I wish I'd put more money into it. And probably the biggest one realistically was Fusion Strike. And here's one of the things about Pokemon card investing in sealed product. When a sealed product is about to go out of rotation, or maybe it's even out of rotation already, and you start seeing supply dwindling, that's when you know the market's about to uptick, because there'll be a new floor presented to the market. And what I mean by that is, let's take Fusion Strike as an example. About 18 months ago, it'd be about 18 months ago, Fusion Strike in Australia was sitting around 200 to 210 Australian dollars, which works out to be about 130 to 140 US dollars. And that was the floor of the market. Whether you went on to big box retailers, whether you logged on to eBay, you could notice there was a few boxes left at that price. And by a few, if you went across all eBay stores, people's different stores, and all maybe big box retailers, you could maybe buy yourself, 50 to 100 booster boxes around that 200 to 210 Australian dollar mark. And look, that floor got eaten up really quickly. But the play was, the play should have been to buy them all, shouldn't it, in hindsight? Because we knew as soon as those price points get bought out, the next cheapest box was 220 Australian dollars, which is like 150 US. And once those 150 US dollar booster boxes get bought out, the next floor is 160, then 170, then 180, then 200 US. And before you know it, we get to the stage where we're at now. And that's what happens. A new floor to the market exists. And once big box retailers are out of supply of sealed elite trainer boxes or sealed booster boxes, the secondary market then controls it. And the secondary market won't let them go at a cheap price, because what's the point? It's becoming rare, it's becoming more collectible, and the secondary market will start, having a bit more control over the price. Yes, there's that relationship between sellers and buyers, but the seller needs to convince the buyer to pay a certain price, and the buyer will need to want to pay a certain price. But the seller, if they're controlling all the supply or the stock, well, they do set the price a little bit there, where there's not this competition between big box retailers and big stores trying to move profit to be able to buy the next thing and get the next allocation. Like, that's gone. It's in the hands of the secondary market. But I guess my point is, I wish I'd gone a little bit further in, and here's some data to back it up. So if you look at some numbers, let's start with Fusion Strike because that's where the conversation was at. This is just the last 12 months alone. And you think about property, like I was talking about property and the lack of growth that property's seen in the last 12 months, which, look, isn't a bad thing. Maybe it did need to stabilize. Interest rates are pretty high still at the moment compared to where they were, 4 or 5 years ago. We're probably going to see some rate drops, which might spur the market along a little bit. But for the most part, forgetting about property, this is crazy. What Pokemon cards have done in the last 12 months, I don't think we've ever seen anything like it. Yes, we had the hype of COVID. Yes, we had influencers starting to get into the space in 2020 around Pokemon cards, including Logan Paul and the rise of a lot of other PokeTubers. We've seen the rise of Rip and Ship. We've seen people sitting at home with stimulus checks in 2020 and 2021. And we saw Pokemon cards and sealed products absolutely explode. But I don't think we've seen anything like we've seen over the last 12 months. This last 12 months has been insane. And you look at it and you go, this feels so much more organic. Like, yes, there's still heaps of PokeTubers about, but it's not like this massive scenario that caused this. It's just happened. And it's happened from fantastic marketing and good moves and good plays from, the Pokemon Company International and the artwork that we're seeing. And I don't know, there's so many reasons. This isn't a video about the reasons. This is a video about the growth. And if we look at Fusion Strike in the last 12 months alone, it's gone from $209 to $879. 320% growth. 320% growth in the last 12 months. And Fusion Strike isn't alone. We can pick worse sets and we can pick better sets. For example, if we jump back into something like an Ancient Origin, which a lot of people are going, oh, well, booster boxes are getting too dear. I don't think it's a good investment if I buy them too dear. We've missed the majority of the gains. Look, I get that argument because you're not buying the booster box at the floor. Like if you'd bought Ancient Origin 12 months ago, it was just over $1,000 a booster box. But we've had some confirmed sales. The last 3 confirmed sales off eBay have all been over $7,000. That's a 665% increase in price. And you go, oh, well, Michael, Pokeoz, you're just picking the best examples. Yeah, Fusion Strike's performed astronomically well, and Ancient Origin's even better. What about some of the average sets? Okay, well, let's pick a more average set from XY era. Breakpoint. It was just over $600 12 months ago. Now it's sitting at $1,656. Plenty of confirmed sales north of $1,500. That's 141% growth in the last 12 months. And same thing, you go, oh, well, you're just picking the good ones. Even that's a good one. Well, okay, let's pick one of the mid-tier Sun and Moon sets where the only chase card inside Lost Thunder realistically, other than a few trainers, is that Rainbow Lugia. And there's not a lot of love for rainbow cards, is there? Like having a rainbow card as the main chase card, it just felt a little bit underdone, a little bit gimmicky, a little bit childish. Maybe great for children when they're picking it up and ripping it open, but when those cards get in the hands of the secondary market and it's adults buying the booster boxes and really collecting in those sort of somewhat modern vintage cards, rainbow cards for the majority of adults don't really do it for them. But a mid-tier, poor performing Sun and Moon set like Lost Thunder has gone from $634 a booster box to $1,298. Same thing, it's up over 100%, 104%. Imagine a property doing what Ancient Origins did, 665% in 12 months. And if you scale that up, okay, it went from just over $1,000 to $7,700. That's like buying $1 million property and it being worth $7.7 million in a 12-month period. It's just unheard of, isn't it? Yet it seems to be happening in the Pokemon card world in the last 12 months. Let's pick some other decent performers like Team Up. Team Up's gone from $2,400 to an over $9,000 booster box. That's 279%. That is just insane, isn't it? The biggest performer that I mentioned nearly 2 months ago as my pick as the best investment over the next 12 months will be a Lost Origin booster box. It's gone from $198 to $721 in the last 12 months. In the last 2 months, it's actually flown up. It's gone from like a $500 US booster box, or actually about $480 US to $720 US already. But either way, that's a 264% increase in the last 12 months. And to pick some Scarlet and Violet ones, for argument's sake, Paldea Evolved, $131 12 months ago, now $367 US, 181% increase in the last 12 months. This is a set that is about to go out of rotation. And finally, let's pick something not booster box related, because we talk about booster boxes so much. How about 151 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box? We all knew this would be hot property. Like, if you could get your hands on these, fantastic. We all knew how hard it was to get your hands on these. Bots seem to just buy them up. $133 US 12 months ago. Now $863. That is a 548% increase in price in the last 12 months. Now, not all sealed products have done that. You know, there's some collection boxes that might have risen 5% in the last 12 months, which after you pay for shipping and everything, you're probably losing money. But for the most part, if we invest in the solid pickups, which in my opinion are always going to be booster boxes, and followed either closely behind or on par with now Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, if you go with those, or even regular Elite Trainer boxes, you know, the last 12 months would have been extremely, extremely fruitful for you. It's just been a crazy, crazy 12 months. And to summarize the video, I guess, that notion of having regrets about it, imagine going all in on some of those products. Like, financially, where would you have been now? And look, none of us have crystal balls. We can make good predictions. And I love doing prediction videos. Like, I will still stand by the fact that Lost Origin is underpriced at $721 US. I made the prediction 2 months ago when it was $480. That is way undervalued, and it will be a fantastic investment over the next 12 months. And look at it already. But imagine if you'd bought 10 booster boxes or 10 cases of booster boxes at $480 a booster box. Look what you've done in the last 2 months. Like, you're up near on 30-40% in a 2-month period. That's insane growth, with more to come, in my opinion. Like, it's just crazy what Pokemon has done in the last 12 months. And the big question moving forward is, you know, how's it going to perform over the next 12 months? Where are the next players going to be at? It's baffled me how well XY's done over the last 12 months, how well Sun and Moon's done over the last 12 months. But I did a video recently, you know, summarizing Black and White era, X and Y era, Sun and Moon era, and Sword and Shield era, including also Scarlet and Violet era, what the total value of all the booster boxes are, what the average price of a booster boxer is, and the clear era with growth is still Sword and Shield, in my opinion. I can't not see so many Sword and Shield booster boxes over the next 12 months really performing strongly in price, like massive, massive gains. I still stand by Lost Origin when it was $480 2 months ago. Over the next 12 months, I said this is going to be a fantastic performer, and I think it will be. It'll continue to grow strongly in price, and I wouldn't be scared to buy in at those slightly higher prices. And probably the best example of those are things like Evolving Skies, Team Up, some of those stronger X and Y era sets like Phantom Forces and Ancient Origins that I mentioned that have just, you know, those sets that have the really, really strong chase cards inside them, they're just going to perform well naturally. And that's what's happened over the last 12 months. But so many people said, and I am exactly the best example for that. I remember when I bought my tag team booster boxes, I got Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds, and Cosmic Eclipse, all for under, I think I paid $320 USD for Unbroken. I think I paid $340 USD for Unified Minds, and I paid $380 US for Australian dollars, sorry, not US dollars, which is about, you know, 250-ish US, and then probably 270-ish US for Cosmic Eclipse. And at the time, you had to pay about 400 US to pick up Team Up, which is about 550 to 600 Australian. I can remember just thinking, nah, it's too dear. It's way too dear. And look at it now. And everyone said the same thing about Evolving Skies when it was 400 US, when it was 600 US. Everyone was saying it's too dear, it doesn't have growth left in it. It's only 12 months ago that Evolving Skies was like 600 US. And look at its price now. Like, there's confirmed sales around 3,000 US dollars. Like, it's just insane. So don't be scared to, yes, I get it. You know, if you'd bought Evolving Skies at $100 US, you would have been way better off than buying at $600 US. I get it. Of course you would have been. Like, that's just a no-brainer. But the point is, don't be scared of some of the growth you'll see in a 12-month period out of an out-of-rotation booster box with incredibly rare chase cards or strong chase cards inside it compared to modern sets that are still in the reprint window. It's great. If you're a long-term hold, by all means, buy as many modern booster boxes as you can. Like, if you plan on holding for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, perfect. But if you want to make some serious gains over the next 12 months, there's definitely some good plays to be had there. And I'm going to do some more videos about those plays, but this was really just to say, like, whoa, maybe rather than dipping my toes in the water and just having fun with this, I should have maybe gone in, you know, a little bit harder. Maybe we should have withdrawn some equity from some properties and gone bang, rather than being so sensible and safe, so to speak, which is somewhat my motto when it comes to investing. Maybe I should add a bit more of a dip. Let me know in the comments down below, how much of a dip have you had over the last 12 months? Have you seen some very fruitful gains? I'm super happy with the returns that I've had from Pokemon. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to look at on the collector app, see the gains I'm getting. It's awesome. Anyway, there's my midnight ramble for, for today from Australia. I'm Michael. This is Pokeoz. Oh, before we go, Tommy Fleetwood, well done, mate. You deserve that win. You deserve the FedEx Cup Championship. He's 3 days older than me, so hey, maybe there's hope yet for me to get out on the course. Anyway, I'm Michael, this is Pokeoz, and catch everyone next time.